It's an interesting journey. The university decided about 4 or 5 years ago to focus on 3 areas for the whole university. One was security, one was health, and the third area was sustainability. Within the business school, I volunteered. In the Army, they tell you never volunteer. I volunteered to look into sustainability and create an initiative built around sustainability. And it was designed to be interdisciplinary, to bring people from around the university together to talk about sustainability issues. When we first met, we had faculty from all the schools practically: health, science, business, law, public policy. And we decided, water is a common theme throughout all of our research and teaching around sustainability. So we picked water as the theme. So that got me involved in water issues, and that got me involved in the first SWIM event, Symposium on Water Innovation in Massachusetts. And so I proposed to the dean of the business school and to others around the university, why don't we try to become very active in creating a sort of a collaborative, interdisciplinary approach to water innovation issues and bring together leaders of business, finance, government, and academia together on our campus. So that's really how I got involved and how this has all transpired. We've brought together 200 leaders from all disciplines from around around the country. We have people from far and wide this year. And it's really been remarkable to see how the group has evolved from a simple symposium to more of a collaborative enterprise where things are really happening. Technology providers are meeting with finance people, with other collaborators who have compatible technologies, sometimes competitive. And it's really been remarkable to see the progression from a sort of a simple networking activity to one in which let's talk about maybe working together, to now let's go out and implement a few things. Let's do some things together and make the world a better place, and let's do it around the theme of water. It's really, the trajectory is up, and I think we have a very good chance to be solving some of the global water issues that we face going forward. Well, I wasn't on the mission to Israel, but I've been to Israel for other reasons. I've also been to Iceland. We send students to Iceland where we have a lot of water issues. They have a surplus of water. And we also send students down to Costa Rica where they have other sorts of water issues. So I think the research and the teaching part of what I've been doing has had a clear water theme. The students get to see how water is treated in different parts of the world. In some places like Iceland, it's a surplus. They have a lot of hydropower and geothermal and steam. Costa Rica doesn't treat much water because it's very pure in its natural state, unless it's contaminated by agricultural interests or other interests that might not be so careful. And it's been a very good journey. I was not a water expert when I first came here, but it's really an important issue. I think the university, Northeastern, plus our other colleagues around other universities can make a really big difference in the world of water. It's a scarce resource, as you know. It's unlike oil, which is market-based, market-priced. Water doesn't have a true market value. And it's important to understand the differences between water and oil. They don't mix in many ways. It's hard to transport water. It's hard to develop the infrastructure around water. It's very hard to get people to change their behavior around how they use water. Now, we were fortunate to live in New England, which has, as we've seen this past winter, a lot of water. But having traveled to Texas, to California, other parts of the world where there's scarcity, they still have trouble dealing with behavioral issues, the pricing issues, the supply issues, matching supply and demand, and dealing with the allocation of scarce resources across the spectrum of consumers. So it's really interesting to see how that works in other parts of the country. It's been fascinating. I think it fits in very well with the university's mission overall. I think the university is trying to be a research-oriented university, so there's a lot of research grants that professors can seek to do technology or new approaches to water issues. It's also a great opportunity for our students to do co-op jobs in the water space. Many of the people here at the symposium have hired co-op students from Northeastern. Every time I talk to a company, they say, oh, there's 3 or 4 colleagues I know have gone to Northeastern, either for undergraduate or graduate schools. I think we can teach more courses in this area. It fits into so many of our different curricula in engineering, in business, in public policy, and in law, that it'd be nice to have more of a focus, but we're tying things together. Well, I think the challenge, which I would take as a good challenge for many of the people here, is what is the correct price of water? And how do we determine the price? And how do we tell our population that they should pay something close to that price, as opposed to treating it as a free good, something you can turn on the tap and get for nothing, or for very little money? So I think that's one of the major challenges that I think has been raised at this conference, that what's the market value compared to the cost? And I think if we can address that question, which was the challenge question of the day, I think it'll solve some of the technology innovation problems, the financing problems. I think capital will flow to the sector, and we'll be able to have a very healthy, much healthier population, not just in New England, but really worldwide. We encouraged any business, any competitor who wished to submit a business plan to submit their plan through us. There were about 9 criteria, from product and service to technology to pricing of the service, the project team, the presentation. So we have a very elaborate framework for evaluating all the competitors. We had 9 submissions that were complete, and we winnowed that down to 3 or 4 finalists. And similar to some of the TV shows we've seen, where the judges selected the 3 finalists, and the audience will vote on the final winner, coming up probably in about an hour or so. So later this afternoon, we'll find out if you combine the votes of the judges with the votes of the audience, we will finally select a winner today.
That's great.
So I don't know the winner. Unlike the Oscars, we're not going to have an accounting firm open up an envelope. We're going to actually have electronic voting. So it's an interesting process. Each finalist will give a 5-minute pitch. The audience will have a voting electronically to a mailbox, text message. And then we will find out the winner when the votes are tallied. So it's a two-part process. The judges have selected the finalists, and the audience of the 3 finalists will hear the pitch, 5 minutes each, and then we'll vote on a winner. So I think we have 3 great finalists, and I think it was very hard to select them. Very tough competition. And now these are all early stage companies. So they're very early stage. They have issues about gaps in their funding and their product plan and their competition and understanding the competitive landscape. But they're all in the same, it's an even playing field.
And what's the prize?
The prize are 3 things. One is a cash prize. The second is some mentoring from a venture capital firm. And the third is some free legal advice from one of the leading law firms in Boston. So they have lots of support. The last winner will present a little video of how he has done since he won the contest at the previous event. And he couldn't be here today. He's in faraway places. But he put together a short video about what his firm has been able to do since winning the prize last time. I think it'll be a very interesting presentation.